So, if you've watched my videos before, you will know that I wear this hat quite often, the Sky Train hat, and that is because I'm a massive aviation geek. And this weekend, well today specifically, I've been invited to the place that I think is the mecca for aviation. I think it is the pinnacle of British aviation as well. I'm going to IWM Duxford, Imperial War Museum Duxford, because I've been invited to the History Festival. So, join me and let's see what we can find at a former World War II airbase. The history of the aerodrome at Duxford dates back to the First World War. It was one of the earliest RAF stations, as in 1917 the then named Royal Flying Corps was expanding, and Duxford was one of the many new airfields that were being established. After the end of the First World War it was used as a training school, and then, in 1924, it was designated as a fighter station. By 1938, the reputation of Duxford's 19 Squadron preceded itself so much so that they were the very first RAF squadron to be equipped with a Supermarine Spitfire. During the Battle of Britain, RAF Duxford was part of a 12 group and was tasked with a supporting 11 group which was responsible for defending London. Fast forward a few years to April 1943 and Duxford became home to the 78th Fighter Group. Their main role was to escort the fleet of B-17 and B-24 bombers of the US 8th Air Force deep into occupied Europe and eventually Germany. Here we are, and we've made it to Duxford, and behind me there, that is Sally B, the only airworthy B-17 bomber flying today in Europe. And yeah, it's amazing to see. As a massive fan of Masters of the Air, like looking at it in person, I've never seen Sally B in person, or any, well, B-17, there's only one in Europe, and it's just amazing. Yeah, you know, just to look, you know, the ball turret underneath there. Imagine being cramped in that, flying over Germany and Europe at the height of the war. That must have been unbelievable. So yeah, stick around, there's plenty to see here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit everything, probably just pick out my highlights, but yeah, amazing so far to be here. It's been Duxford as well is obviously still an in-use airfield, and as you can see there you got Hawker Hurricane and a P47 Thunderbolt out there as well. I think they're getting ready for Duxford Air Show tomorrow. So I was just walking around the side, walking towards the Battle of Britain hangar, obviously. Saw this hangar was open, thought, oh, I'll have a peek in and what's in here. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Spitfire MH434, you see there on the cover, and arguably that is one of the most famous Spitfires that still flies to this day. I know it's very historic, I'll have to double check the history on it, but I know it's one of the most famous. And here we are up close with MH434, and I said it had a lot of history, and it was actually involved in the Battle of Britain 1969 film. So I've just come inside to the Battle of Britain hangar, and this place is amazing. There's the famous N3200 Spitfire over there that Guy Martin had a hand in restoring. We've got a Messerschmitt, we've got a Hurricane, so yeah, let's take a look at some stuff. Yeah, so we've got a Hurricane over here, and you've got a Searchlight, you've got a Messerschmitt over there. We'll take a look at the Spitfire in a minute, it's just to go, people don't want to get in their way, but let's take a look inside the Hurricane's cockpit. Look at that, I mean, just how basic and cramped it is as well. You know, these were even more basic than the Spitfires, but to see it from above, you know, I've been lucky to sit in a Spitfire before, and you know, the hood of the canopy wasn't the best compared to the Spitfire, but the Hurricane, it was the workhorse, so to speak, of the RAF, especially in the early days of the war. And yeah, to see one this close is just absolutely amazing. And we've also got the Messerschmitt here as well, the 109, and this might look familiar. There's a very famous photograph, black and white photograph, and that is that plane. By the magic of editing, it will appear now, and it's amazing that IWM have kind of recreated that picture in this display. They've left it as is. They just moved the plane here, and you know, I'm not big on German stuff, obviously. I think the Spitfire was far superior. Yes, in the Battle of Britain I know this was better, and it took us time to develop the Spitfire, but, you know, I still think, you know, we were just better at developing. You know, the Germans were like, nope, we were amazing to begin with, and we will not make any changes because, you know, they got too cocky, basically. But yeah, to see an actual one up close, again, is amazing, and to see a display like this, recreation of a famous photograph as well, is extra amazing as well. So I'm here in front of Spitfire N3200, super famous, shot down in the Battle of Britain, rebuilt later in its life, and I hate to say it, but I think on the MOT it would say a bit of an oil leak going on there, which is because this is still a flying airplane, it's still used today. Again, always amazing to see a Spitfire. Spitfires will always have my heart. And actually, if you see underneath, you see it's got the white and the black. That's the Battle of France livery, as it was known, which was aided to distinguish friend and foe, which was then later developed into the black and white invasion stripes for D-Day. So that's how you can tell, you know, it's a bit of an earlier plane in the shape, and in fact it's only got a 3-bladed propeller. And as you can tell, yes, I am a massive Spitfire nerd, and I know how to tell the difference between marks of different Spitfires. But again, absolute honour to be able to see this plane in person. Spitfires, 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 my goodness, this is just amazing. So this is the working hangar where they still work on these aircraft. This one in front of me, JG891, now that's in Malta colours, which is amazing. That's a place I cannot wait to visit, and you can actually see a Merlin engine exposed there in that other Spitfire. This is amazing. You walk in and you can smell the oil straight away. This is, God, I'm like a kid at Christmas again. So this is the closest I've ever been to a 2-seat variant of the Spitfire, and next time I'm going to be a little bit closer. I'm going to be in that rear cockpit, and I'm going to be flying in it, you know, so stick around, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss when that video comes out. Just came outside, and what do I find? A 2-seat Spitfire going past. And Sally B's moved as well, so I think Sally B's going to take off. So yeah, let's stick around here for a bit. That's going to wrap up my first visit to Duxford, IWM Duxford. Now, I didn't touch on everything because I'm actually coming back here in just about a month's time, and I might be with a friend of mine. It might be a little collaboration video that we've had in the pipeline for a while. So yeah, so I've left some stuff, and I didn't go into super detail. I just wanted it to be kind of like a join me on my first experience here at this amazing operational airfield. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed it. Stick around for more, like I say, always more in the pipeline. 2 collaborations coming up, so stick around for them. Who's it going to be? You don't know. You best stick around to find out. I'm going to check out my last video here where I carried on the tour of remembrance. You can check that out, and yes, I think this is a perfect sign to sign off. The Spitfire is about to take off, so I will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.